Yes, we are doing Power Hour today. We just got done recording episode with Craig. Craig, how you doing again?
We're good.
Sam?
Great. Ready to do these rankings, these running back rankings.
Yep. So last time we did Power Hour, we did quarterbacks, and now we're doing running backs. And no, I did not copy and paste anything this time.
I was gonna call you out, man. I know that last list you totally copy and pasted from the internet.
I was rushed on time, and
I didn't call you out on it. I let it be. I let it be.
It was funny.
Because it sounded like he was trying to learn English while he was talking.
I could tell he copy pasted from the internet because he was using vocabulary that he would not normally use.
Yeah. Hey, I don't have to.
And
use
the
that
fact
word.
he had Dak Prescott rated so high, like Kale hates the Cowboys, he hates Dak Prescott.
That
and he
was
had
an
him.
honest rating. So all of the ranks are true. The only thing I copied was the paragraphs.
Everything but the name.
You're not that big a fan of Dak Prescott. You do not like
He's
Dak
still
Prescott.
pretty good though, but
He is good. He's a solid quarterback, but he's
just a piece of shit person.
Why? Why is that?
I just think he's a piece of shit person.
I thought he was like some outstanding citizen.
He hasn't done anything bad as a guy,
No,
like as a person.
No, the citizen part, no, but him asking for money and crying about it, that sets me a little differently. Okay,
Well, that's just
he's
new
there.
everyday type of.
That's
when
sports guy now.
when he brings up like I can't support my family, and you're getting paid over millions of dollars.
I agree. He doesn't
Bullshit.
deserve the money of like guys like Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Joe
win
Burrow,
in
the
the
top
playoffs.
dogs in the league. But I mean, I don't know, man. I think he's a solid quarterback. I just don't think he's elite. He had a great year last year, but second team All Pro, second in MVP voting, but he just chokes in the big moments. You want to get to it?
Sure.
Running back. So I'm gonna say right now I had a few teams, quite a bit, that I had as like running back duos for certain teams. So like two guys that I feel like will split a fairly equal workload carries on a team. I don't know if there's anything you guys want to touch on before we start.
Nope, I'm winging it.
I did also kind of write down type some paragraphs about a little bit about
Nerd.
That's what we did last time. I just went with what we did last time.
That's what you did last time. He went click.
That's true. That's
click,
true.
click.
Copy paste.
Yeah.
I enjoy stuff like this, so
paragraph
I put a lot of effort into it. I went into the statistics and little tidbits about certain players. So we're gonna start at 32 and go up to 1 for each of us. So Kelly, you want to start us off?
I have at number 32 is the Carolina Panthers running back core. It is Jonathan Moss, Hubbard, and Miles Sanders.
Okay.
And the reason why is that because Chuba, whatever.
I feel like he's underrated personally.
I do too. It's just, I thought he was
He had
going
a
to
solid
get the
year
start.
last year.
Moss is going to be coming off of a ACL injury from last year.
Yeah.
And Miles Sanders, people forget about him.
Miles Sanders was good in Philly.
He was very good in Philly.
He got injured last year, right?
Yep.
And then Hubbard took over and
They got
damn
him.
near had 1,000
And
rushing
then they
yards.
went and got Moss,
Yeah.
who's also still recovering.
Yeah.
So
Don't they have a rookie?
yeah, Jonathan Moss.
I thought his last name was Brooks.
No.
Which one's that?
I had just Chuba Hubbard for my Panthers ranking, which I had him ranked a little bit higher than 32, last in the league, but I don't know.
I mean, they got a new
I didn't look too
coach
deep at
and-
their depth chart because I thought Hubbard was good enough last year that he'll be the guy.
I
for
thought
them.
he was the
If he
guy.
can stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy.
think you'll
I mean,
be
he had
all
over 900 yards on a pretty dismal Panthers offense. Like
Well,
they
that's
were,
just it. He had to run for his life.
yeah,
On
they were
everything.
trash last year. And I feel like Bryce Young is trash personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not the answer.
Their owner is trash too.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good in college, but I just don't think he's built for the NFL.
I also put too is he got a new coach. So
That's true, yeah.
That's going to affect it a little bit.
That's true.
They want to do. So
Okay. Well, my 32, I had the Dallas Cowboys running back duo, Ezekiel Elliott and Rico Dowdle. So there's a time Ezekiel Elliott was considered to be the best running back in the NFL. Those days are long gone. I think he's the worst starting running back in the league right now. He's worn down. He's coming off his worst season in 2023, which he spent with the Patriots. I think he'll share plenty of carries with the next running back on the Cowboys depth chart, Rico Dowdle. And he hasn't really shown much yet in his career. But apparently he's been off and on their practice squad and active roster since 2020. He's been in the league since 2020. I think the Cowboys should have taken a chance on Derrick Henry this offseason because their running back room is sad and sorry right now. I don't think things are really looking too bright for Dak, Zeke, CD, and the rest of the Cowboys offense this season, honestly. So that's who I got at 32.
That's another one of those where they're going to have to beef up their offensive line before they get anything that's going to really come. Because like Ezekiel Elliott, he's my age.
Typically, Dallas is known for their offensive line too.
Yeah, but they're
kind of aging in that department now.
I don't know whether getting rid of Pollard they really gained anything.
He had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Granted, he wasn't as productive per carry.
I just thought he was dog shit
in 2023 as he was in 2022. Yeah. I think he's better as a support, like a change of pace back.
Right.
Like a backup. Like
thunder and lightning type of deal.
Yeah, like he's the lightning, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know, he's in Tennessee now, so we'll see. He's supposed to replace Derrick Henry, so.
That's some big shoes to fill.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Craig?
I had Devin Singletary from the Giants.
Okay.
Don't really know a whole lot. He had pretty good numbers last year, but there again, he's on the Giants.
He's been fairly consistent. He was on the Texans last year.
Yes.
Yep. And he spent the first few seasons of his career with the Bills.
He did all right with the Bills.
And he's never ran for over 1,000 yards in a season, but he's consistent. He gets the job done.
Yeah, he had almost 900 yards and then 190 some yards receiving. So,
which I thought
he seems like a pretty good back. But
I thought was kind of surprising because the year before they had a rookie, Dameon Pierce, was like a workhorse running back for them, and then they just didn't go to him at all last year, and Devin Singletary took the spot from him.
Kind of makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes if there is something,
Well, I think it was new coaching.
Got an attitude.
New quarterback. CJ Stroud really went off for them. So
that dude, if he wasn't a rookie, he could have probably maybe won the MVP. I'm just saying.
Yeah, if he'd have won a few more games, for sure.
Yeah, Singletary. What I will say, and I'll say it with my pick when we get to him.
Yep. But, I have him ranked a little higher, but
he's just one of those players. Yeah, he had a good time in Buffalo, but he's also going to have one of those times that I had a good season on one team, and then the next season I'm just bad.
Yeah,
there really doesn't seem to be like a whole lot of consistency anymore in the running back.
No.
You got maybe two or three like the old school type, like Derrick Henry.
Henry, Nick Chubb.
Yeah, those guys that are going to go out and play smash mouth football and can do it every year.
Yep.
But it seems like the rest of them, they're built to see how fast they can go and how many yards they can stack up instead of hitting you in the mouth, and then just their longevity.
Yeah.
Well, I think also in this day and age is like, to me, like in my list, like to me, there's a lot of good running backs in the NFL, but there's only a few like truly great ones.
Right.
Because really I hate to say it, but it's kind of a dying breed.
Yeah.
In almost like they're going so much to passing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like you said,
a pro style shotgun.
Right.
The true workhorse backs like Derrick Henry and the bigger, tough running backs like that are kind of
gone.
They're
the
kind of
days
phasing out. But you see, I could
Jerome
see,
Bettis type running backs.
I could see a comeback from them because defenses are getting smaller too.
They are.
And so you could see that return of like big running backs and the fullback and power eye to take advantage of those smaller defenses.
I think people should bring back the fullback more.
I think so too.
There's a few decent ones still in the league.
If Nebraska did that full time, I think we would win more games.
Bring back the fullback.
Yeah, fullback.
Yeah, go find one.
I was a fullback,
they don't have
so
them anymore.
I'm all for it.
They don't have them in high
Did
school.
you know they
anymore.
got Todd Euler's son listed as a
Trent,
fullback? Yeah. We were talking about last week.
They'll put some weight on him, and he'll be a
he's
fire plug like his dad.
He's competing for the starting job.
I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah.
Yeah, his dad's same age.
They got a few guys. They have a few good running backs too, competing for time.
I think Gabe will still get starter.
No, I think it'll be Emmett Johnson.
Think?
Yeah. And then there's that. There's
he did
a
pretty
transfer
good last
that.
time. Didn't he have kind of slippery fingers?
No, that was Anthony Grant.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And I liked him, and then all of a sudden he got a fumbling problem.
Yeah, he's like Brucey from The Longest Yard. That damn popcorn.
Yeah. But then it was they had a transfer this year that something Dowdell, and he's just supposed to be like a truck, like just one of those old school power backs.
Sweet.
We'll go to 31.
Yep.
I'll start. I got Javonte Williams, Denver Broncos. He's still a fairly young running back going into his 4th year, and he's shown promise, especially in his rookie year in 2021. Injuries have been his biggest downfall. If he can stay healthy this season, and he's potentially got a rookie quarterback at the helm in Bo Nix, the Broncos could lean on him heavily, and he could be in for a big season. Outside of that, I don't have much else to say about him. I think he's a young, promising running back who just needs to be in the right situation and put a full season together to really come into his own. So I got Javonte Williams, Denver Broncos at 31.
You can go ahead.
I had Zach Moss. Now I have to be honest.
Zach Moss.
I really don't know much about this guy. He had some decent numbers last year, but
Kind of just your traditional goal line power back type of guy.
Yep. I mean, he's not going to
He's
take
on the
off on
Bengals
an
now.
80-yard run. And
He was pretty good for the Colts last year when Jonathan Taylor was out.
Yeah.
And then when he was at Buffalo, like I said, he was just kind of that short yardage guy.
Yep.
But
Which,
who knows? He could maybe put it together in Cincinnati with the offense they have. Could draw some attention away from him. Could open up some holes for him.
He does have some shoes to fill, though.
Joe Mixon. But I mean, with Joe Burrow and those receivers they have, like defense are going to be keen on those guys. They could open up some running lanes for Moss possibly.
Well, and Burrow's got that new hair, so
Yeah, I think it looks so stupid.
It's got to improve your game.
He got some shady hair.
He does. Oh my gosh.
I'm not saying anything about anybody's hair.
Baldy. So I had the same pick as you, 31, Zach Moss.
Yeah.
There's not much else to say about him. I mean, he's coming in to Cincinnati filling the shoes of Joe Mixon, and it's going to take a little bit, but hopefully he gets it. But
I have him pretty low too, but couple spots, but yeah, Zach. I mean, I don't know. I think he's got upside. Like he's just a hard, powerful runner. He just lacks some of that big playability and that speed and that some of that stuff you look for nowadays in a running back.
Yeah. Number 30, I had Devin Singletary. Again, he's coming off of a season that he did pretty well, but like you said, Craig, is consistent. It's not. I don't know if it's going to be there, and he's playing for the Giants. So I mean,
run for your life.
The Giants. The
No
Giants
passing game.
The Giants are guaranteed to fuck it up.
Probably.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, man. Number 30, I've got for the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. I've got another duo, Zamir White and Alexander Madison. Zamir White, he's just not a guy I know a whole lot about. He came on strong towards the end of last season with 2 100-yard rushing performances, really cementing his job as their starting running back moving forward. But he hasn't done a whole lot to make me super, super confident he'll take them to the next level. So I could see him splitting carries with the Alexander Madison, who spent the last 5 seasons with the Vikings, spending most of that time as a backup to Dalvin Cook. And he just wasn't really quite cut out for the feature role, so I could really see him being like a good backup / mentor for the young Zamir White, who's only going into his 3rd year, I think. But neither have done really enough to be ranked any higher than this, in my opinion. So I just think the Raiders' offense is going to struggle regardless because they don't really have a good answer at quarterback with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew.
I like Gardner Minshew.
I like him too, and I actually kind of like Aiden O'Connell too.
I like the stash.
Yeah. I think O'Connell could be like a solid game manager quarterback, but really, their only good proven weapon is Devontae Adams, and that's it.
Yeah, yep. And it's and they're defense minded. So.
That's true, yeah, and that's always been the Raiders.
Yeah, it's going to be tough on the offensive side. So
yeah, well, yeah, and their head coach is defensive minded. Yeah, Antonio Pierce, former linebacker. So yeah, but
I think Gardner Minshew would get the job. I'm gonna be honest. I like both of them, but I feel like out of experience.
My prediction: I think O'Connell will get the job, but I could see him like at some point like struggling.
Yeah.
And then they make the switch, or he gets hurt and they make the switch. But
I mean, let's be honest. One of them is going to be the bridge QB to get a new QB.
Right. O'Connell's one of the guys, like, he's one of those guys that, like, he can manage a game well. He's smart, but he just doesn't have the physical tools like a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen to really, like, exceed at the NFL level at this point. Like, you used to be able to get it done with a game manager, run the ball, play solid defense. That's just not the case anymore. And I'd like to see him do well, but I don't think, and I could see them making that switch to Gardner Minshew at some point this season.
Minshew reminds me of Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's kind of like this year, he's
the
just going to keep
journeyman.
going from team to team to team.
Yep.
It's all about the power of the stash.
Exactly.
That's right.
Uncle Rico.
He could throw that football over that mountain.
Yeah. back in 82.
Back in 82.
We would have won state. Coach would have put me in.
I wonder if there's actually people out there that actually say shit like that. I really want to meet somebody.
Okay, now I'll tell you this off the air of who this is, but there is somebody like that, and you guys probably all know him.
Uh-oh.
My wife graduated from Spencer High School in the 80s, and there's one every time we would go back for something, a class reunion or whatever, that's the way this guy was. He was sitting there and he was talking about all the football. Oh, yeah, back in this game and, I scored on this play and all that. And I'm like, dude, my God. And then when I seen Napoleon Dynamite, I'm like, yeah.
Honestly, dude, I've met a few people like that who just can't let go of the glory days of high school sports. Like,
Yeah, I didn't play any. I played basketball and track. I never played football, but I wasn't in high school very long either. So I was only in high school till about halfway.
You probably would have been a built linebacker.
The end of I was 160 pounds and the same height I am right now.
Run the eye, run the veer. Yeah. What pick are we on? 30 or 20?
Did you do your number 30?
No, I had the kid from the Panthers. I can't remember what his name was.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah. Him, and then there was the other Jonathan.
Oh, Jonathan
Brooks.
Or Jonathan
crazy
Moss.
Is Hubbard's actually from where I'm from, Canada, too. So
Really?
Yeah.
So he's got that going for him.
Nice.
I remember him coming to Oklahoma State, and they're talking about it. I found out, I was like, sorry, what? Where is he from?
Are you guys pals now?
No, I don't know him personally.
Okay, cool. 29?
Yeah.
At 29, I've got Zach Moss for the Bengals. He is coming off a career year with the Colts, rushing for nearly 800 yards and 5 touchdowns. It was short-lived, though, once Jonathan Taylor returned. He may be able to carve out a more permanent role at the Bengals as their primary running back. He spent time in Buffalo from 2020 to 2022, primarily as a goal line short yardage back, kind of like how we talked. But he's really replacing the versatile do-it-all back Joe Mixon, right? He's got big shoes to fill. He had a very productive career in Cincinnati, and now he's in Houston. But all that being said, the Bengals offense primarily runs and lives and dies by the arm of Joe Burrow. So as long as Moss can be somewhat productive, the Bengals shouldn't really miss a beat offensively. He hasn't done really enough for me to rank him any higher than this, but 2024 could be his biggest opportunity to really cement a job as a true feature back in the NFL. So that's kind of the outlook I have on Zach Moss.
He could. I think he'll be all right in Cincinnati.
Right. Like he doesn't need to do much. Like Joe Burrow and the receivers are the identity of the offense. Right. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, the guys like that.
You need to get somebody a drink of water. You're like, okay, Zach, run the ball.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
Exactly.
Zach,
like
get your ass in there.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's your time to shine now, Zach.
It's Boozie's time to shine.
He broke a shoestring, so go in there and run a couple.
Do you want to do yours? Or you want me to do mine?
I had Tony Pollard. I know he's 1,000-yard back, but he's also going someplace new, and he's not young anymore.
No,
he's not.
He's probably one of the older running backs in the league. Now he's proven he had 1,000 yards last year, 300 yards receiving out of the backfield. So I think the Cowboys are going to miss him a lot more than what the Titans are going to enjoy him.
I will say he was a receiving back more than a
kind of
he had that
like,
build. He wasn't a
thinner
bulldog
running back. Like that's kind of I made that comment in our quarterback video with Will Levis. Like I could see the Titans really going around him now because they have all these receivers and then they have a back like Tony Pollard. I feel like it's going to be all like Will Levis, like ride or die by him. And if it's a bad year, they might move off of him.
Then he cut his mullet for nothing.
Yeah.
29. I also had Tony. So
okay.
So
we must have looked at the same list.
ProFootballReference.com.
No.
ESPN, NFL.com.
Can we talk about ESPN getting rid of RG3? That was dumb.
Dude,
That's
I
so
have
dumb.
never liked RG3.
Really?
I didn't like him at Baylor. Really? I think he's horrible on TV. I just don't like him.
I
Never
thought it
have.
was funny.
I like RG3.
I mean, he does a decent job at what he's doing.
Yeah.
Something about him I just never really
You
liked.
think he's a little cringy?
Yeah, kind of.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like him. I really liked him as a player.
I'd rather listen.
He was a hell of a football
The
player.
Redskins totally ruined his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've done that with a few people.
I'd
Like,
rather listen to him than other people on ESPN.
Like he was.
Oh, yeah. I don't watch ESPN for nothing.
He was Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And then the Redskins rushed him back from injury too quickly, and then it ruined the rest of his
Yeah.
career.
He never had
Yeah.
the chance to
No,
be the Lamar
he won
Jackson.
Rookie of the Year, had a phenomenal rookie year.
Yeah.
He was so fun to watch, and then never bounced back from that injury. 28.
I have Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay.
Simple. He's getting old, and
Yeah.
he didn't really have a good productive year last year in New England. I think before he left the Dallas Cowboys, he did put a little bit of weight on, and then he got a little slow. I think.
He kind of became just that standard goal line short yardage back.
Yeah. He's got too many teeth.
What?
Yeah, you ever know? The dude smiles. It's like he's got teeth clear out to here.
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
No.
Honestly,
never noticed that?
now that you say it, yeah.
How the hell did he find a mouthpiece when he was at Ohio State? I mean, come on.
Urban Meyer probably found him a good deal or something.
28, I've got Tony Pollard, Tennessee Titans. And I guess you guys both had him low, so I guess I won't really get much hate for putting him this low since he's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. But kind of like we talked before, 2023 wasn't the same as 2022. He got nearly 60 more carries and still finished with fewer yards and touchdowns. He was also less productive as a receiver. He was fairly productive with the Cowboys, but in Tennessee, like we talked about, he's expected to replace Derrick Henry as a new feature back, and I just don't know if he'll be able to fit the new offense or not with the Titans in 2024.
How'd you like that hanging over you in your new job?
Exactly. Like you got.
Oh, you're going to come in and replace Derrick Henry. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Totally different style back too.
Oh, yeah.
Like crazy.
Did they
Guess we'll
get
see.
rid of Verbal?
Vrabel.
Yeah, Vrabel.
They fired
Vrabel.
Vrabel.
Shut up.
Hold on. Vrabel.
Vrabel.
Hey, good job, Kale.
Easy, Cole. Let's get the names right.
Hey, I could talk about capitalism. Yeah, so they on their podcast they had our buddy Cole talk about capitalism, and he tried to explain it with DeWalt and Milwaukee.
He wasn't trying to explain it. He was just explaining his thoughts on DeWalt and Milwaukee. And I said, thanks for explaining capitalism.
Old reliable. You open up the box when you need it.
Half of my stuff's Harbor Freight, so I'm not saying nothing.
Hey, it's some of that stuff is made in some of the factories like the.
Oh, yeah. I told you about
Floor
the
jacket.
whole hand wrench thing the other day I watched. So
We got 28 or 27.
Did you do your 28?
Oh, I got it at 28. I had Austin Eckler.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. He's another one of those.
He had a
where-
down year last season.
He did, but I think
did.
he was pissed at the team. I don't think he was.
I think he might have been a little bit.
He's on the Bears now.
No, he's not.
He's
No.
in Austin.
He's on the
Washington.
Washington.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just saw him do an interview with.
But
Washington.
he was only 200 yards difference between his receiving and rushing.
He's never had a
last year.
1,000-yard season.
No,
Really?
he was 628 and 436 yardage last year.
It's
so-
crazy because over the past solid 5 to 10 years, Austin Eckler and Alvin Kamara have both been kind of regarded as a couple of the best running backs in the league. Neither have rushed for over 1,000 yards in a season, which is kind of. But they're both really well known for their ability as a receiver too.
I think he'll be all right in Washington. Like I said, I think
Yeah.
when they got Herbert as their quarterback, they kind of wanted to go into that passing area. And it's hard to get,
Well, in Washington, they also got Brian Robinson Jr., who's more of that power
Right.
back too. So
yeah. He's the big dude that got shot in the leg or something
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
The Chargers did lose quite a bit of people last
They
year.
did. They lost like all their top offensive skill
Curious to
guys.
see how Harbaugh really does. Like,
Well, they're like the Cubs, man. I mean, you get a good team together, and then you just get rid of most of them.
Like literally, their top 2 wide receivers, their top 2 running backs, and I think their starting tight end.
Yeah,
All their top offensive skill guys.
where's Chris Bryant at now?
he is in Colorado.
Really?
Yeah,
The one team I would not expect.
and just as shit, terrible.
Colorado has always been shit.
I mean, his numbers and everything are just
Oh,
tanked. You guys should have a baseball show, then I'll come back
I mean,
Okay, we can.
I don't know shit about baseball.
and that's
I mean, I'm down to talk about it though.
shit. Yeah,
I'll
We
talk.
could
I'll-
talk
I'll-
about wrestling,
I'm always up for some pro wrestling.
so I don't have to sit there and try to explain stuff to these two.
That's fine. I mean, I'll chime in.
That was funny as hell last time though, watching that, because Sam was like,
or
got it down.
when you listen to Brody, he's just so like monotone.
he's like Dan Froberg when you take his classes. He's that way too.
Sometimes it's hard to hear.
If you know who Dan Froberg, you'd be sitting there and you'd just be like monoed.
Oh yeah. I'd take his classes out to college, and he's like,
Good guy.
So
"Oh, great guy."
I had Dale Johansson out at the college for intermediate algebra my freshman year, and he was kind of the same way. He also always sounded like he had a cold. Like it sounded like he always had a stuffed up nose like this.
Meatloaf for supper.
Yeah, yeah. That's how he always sounded.
You know,
And he was just so boring. Like no sense of humor, no nothing. Like no external personality beyond school.
See, I think his brother lives right across the road from me,
Okay,
Merle, because he was a banker in Plainview, and I think that's Dale's brother.
dude. He like
And he talks the same way.
I struggled in that class just because he was so boring. Like I damn near fall asleep every time.
Yeah, that's the way Merle is too.
We on to 27 now.
Yep.
So I got Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, the Los Angeles Chargers. So they're 2 former Baltimore Raven running backs who are now both on the Chargers. The Chargers offense, we just talked about this, seems to be in full rebuild this offseason under new head coach Jim Harbaugh in terms of offensive skill guys, excluding the star quarterback Justin Herbert. Like I said before, they've done away with their top 2 wide receivers, running backs, and their starting tight end. But at nearly 240 pounds, Gus Edwards looked to add an element of power running to the Chargers' backfield that's been missing. And if J.K. Dobbins can stay healthy, he's shown he can be productive in the past. It'll be different for both of them, switching from having Lamar as a QB to now having Herbert, who's more of a pure passer. Edwards was heavily used in short yardage for the Ravens, especially last season. He scored 13 touchdowns on the ground and also had his best season yardage-wise with over 800. He's more consistent and durable than Dobbins, but I think the upside for Dobbins, I think he has a higher ceiling if he can just stay healthy. And we'll see if they can provide the Chargers with a solid ground game, kind of their new look offense in 2024. So Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins.
I have Zamir White. What I will say about Zamir White, basically, you know, you look at him, he's going to an offense that was Josh Jacobs' offense. Mm-hmm. And now they have no quarterback, and now they got to figure out who the quarterback is. Again, I think Gardner will take it. But,
Yeah.
Once they figure that out, and then once they figure out who the running back is, which probably will be Zamir.
It's looking like it.
I don't know a whole lot about Zamir. I don't know much about the Raiders. I just hate the Raiders. And
I just know he finished last season pretty strong, and so they felt comfortable moving off Josh Jacobs.
yeah.
I don't know how
believe,
comfortable
I
they
still
really
can't
felt.
believe you guys got him.
You know, I was
I was like the
stoked
one
at first
team-
because I was like, dude, he's gonna be great. He'll be a great like 1-2 punch with Aaron Jones, and then we traded Aaron
Yeah.
Jones or
Gonna
cut
say,
Aaron Jones
hey.
like a couple hours later.
Dude, him and Aaron Jones have been good.
But-
and that's
Well, they had to
coming-
give him a whole bunch of money because he's got like 15 kids.
Like Josh Jacobs is like he's a power back, and everyone's like, well, we got that in AJ Dillon, but AJ Dillon was not good last year.
Yeah, he
And
struggled.
he had his chance to shine because Aaron Jones was hurt for a lot of last year, and AJ Dillon didn't take advantage, and he's kind of struggling this preseason yet so far. And I heard we might use him in more of a fullback role. I don't know, H-back might type stuff. I mean, the dude's 240 pounds and like
When did they pay him?
AJ Dillon,
No.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
I don't quite remember. But I know A.J. Dillon, I mean, so there was like a stat, he's like 240 some pounds and like single digit body fat percentage. And it's like, okay, cool. But let's see him run the ball productively. Like he's a football player, not a bodybuilder.
Do you remember Napoleon Kaufman when he played for the Raiders? That's the way he was. He was short. He was like 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah.
He was like 240 pounds, 220 pounds, whatever it was. And he had single digit body fat.
Yeah.
But he was hurt
Just a
all
brick
the time.
shit house. Yeah. And he's got huge legs, A.J. Dillon, too.
Who?
Napoleon Kaufman.
He's like one's named Quadfather, the other one's named Quadzilla, but it's like you can't make a third and short. Like you get stuffed 3 times in a row or whatever it was. Like, come on now. You should be able to truck some people with those legs.
Yeah.
Quit trying to be Aaron Jones and try to be A.J. Dillon. You know, be the 240-pound running back you are.
The NFC North will be pretty stacked with running backs this year.
Yeah.
You know, when they used to have a running back that was like your franchise guy, and he'd have a bad year or he got hurt or something, you know, you'd rehab him and then bring him back, and now they just cut you.
Offenses used to be built around the running back, not the quarterback.
Yep. Now they
Old school football, like it was run the ball.
we'll pay somebody to come in here and do what we want them to do, and if they don't work out, we'll give them a
They're
shitload
so
of money and
expendable
send
these
them
days,
out and find somebody else.
Now it's either they're building around the receiver mostly too.
That's kind of
Quarterback and receiving core.
It's, you know, they
And get a good O-line, good left tackle,
somebody to block your
a good
blind
edge
side
rusher
and
on
just
defense.
Throw them out there.
Yeah.
I had Nick Chubb, and I like Nick Chubb, but he had a bad year. He's got to try and stay healthy. He's coming off a good injury.
He got hurt. That was his main reason.
Yeah.
So he's got to try and. But is he healthy? Healthy.
Right,
you know?
right. That's interesting. I don't think a lot of people would have him ranked that low.
Is Hunt still on the team?
No. But Jerome Ford replaced him last year.
Yeah.
He did solid.
He did pretty good. And I think Chubb's going to be all right, but.
I had Chubb ranked a lot higher than that. I'll just say that right now.
Yeah. And I put him down there because.
I think even though he had a really bad injury last year, I think he still, when healthy, if he can stay healthy, he's top 5.
Yeah, and that was
Easily.
why I put him down there, is because he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Number 26.
Devin Singletary, New York Giants. He's expected to fill the starting role for the Giants and ultimately also be the replacement for another big-name running back, Saquon Barkley, who also has injury problems, by the way. But at least for now, Singletary is a smaller, quick and shifty back who has had a decent career up to this point. He has spent some time with the Bills and Texans and was able to carve out decent roles in both places, but he has yet to top 1,000 yards. He seems to be reliable enough for teams to trust him as their primary ball carrier. The Giants really don't have much going for them offensively outside of rookie wide receiver Malik Neighbors. Maybe Singletary can add to that and possibly carve out a more permanent role with the Giants this season and beyond. We'll see. So, 26, Devin Singletary.
I had Javonte Williams
Okay.
playing for the Donkeys.
Oh, really?
I just, I don't know.
I bet that's who he had too.
Yep.
I don't,
You guys must have copied off the same website.
something.
This was like me and him for quarterbacks, but I did mine all on my own, and he got his straight off the website.
I moved some of them around.
That's what I did.
Not all of them. Like I
I
said,
literally made my
I'm
list from
flying
scratch,
blind
man,
on
like-
some of these because when they, the guy's name would come up, I'm like, who the hell is that?
You see, to
You
be
know?
fair though, I have to do
Better
research.
cite your sources.
So we are over here fact checking a little bit, and making sure that we're just not copying and pasting some other websites, and they're not exactly the same. So they're a little bit off.
Okay.
So
Okay.
all right, you can't.
Guys.
You can't go all the way after them, Sam. You got to give them a little bit of credit.
Accusations.
Fair enough.
So what I will say about Williams,
Authenticity.
he's still being coached under Peyton, so Peyton's a little weird about his team.
Well, he had a decent year. He was 774 and 228. So I mean, he had a decent year, but he's just he's in Denver.
Like I said, the way I see it is,
And Sean Payton is
I think Bo Nix will win that starting quarterback job
easily.
Should.
And with a rookie quarterback, typically you want to kind of lean on your running game a little bit, And if he can stay healthy, he could be in it for a big year because of that. Maybe his first 1,000-yard season. I don't know.
That would be That would be all right.
That'd be huge for him. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he's got promise. He just hasn't. He's
hasn't
struggled to
reached
stay
his-
healthy.
He hasn't reached his
Right.
potential. Basically.
True.
He
Yeah.
hasn't reached his ceiling.
Yeah.
Our coach used to tell us potential means you haven't got there.
Yeah. That's true.
Craig, you're number 25.
Zeke Elliott.
Okay.
And we've already discussed him. So he's got too many teeth. He's long in the tooth. He's got a lot to do with teeth.
He switched jersey numbers back on the Cowboys too.
Did he? You didn't take 15?
No, he's taken 15, but before he was 21
21,
with the
yeah.
Cowboys.
Oh,
He switched to 15 when he went to the Patriots,
okay.
and then stuck with that when he came back to the Cowboys. Because I think that was his college number.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got kind of fat, you know.
That's
he
what I'm saying.
He
But you got that Dowdle. He'll pick up the
we'll
pick
see.
up the slack. Hopefully, maybe. I'm not
Maybe.
a Cowboys fan either. But, you know,
No, I think they'll struggle in the running game this year.
I
honestly.
think they're going to struggle
That's why I
all
had
the
him
way
last.
around.
Yeah.
You know, and CeeDee Lamb's not going to be.
And their offensive line is aging, and CD Lamb hasn't even signed his contract
No.
yet. So
And
Dak,
your owner
we've seen-
comes out on the.
We've seen how Dak is without a true number one receiver. He's trash.
Yeah, he sucks.
Like he needs that true number one guy out there. He's not
Well, and you're
like Mahomes can get it done with a. Well, he's got Travis Kelce,
yeah,
but in terms of like wide receivers, he doesn't have like
Mecole Hardman.
he doesn't have a freaking Justin Jefferson out
Right.
there or a guy like that. Like he's got Rashee Rice.
makes do
who's
with what
decent.
he's got. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're like,
and the best quarterbacks can do that. Like
yeah,
Aaron Rodgers in his prime years, like if he had a banged up receiving core, he'd still go out there and get it done.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and if you were in CeeDee Lamb's shoes, would you really want to play for the guy that just went out on the news and said he wasn't? I don't care if I sign him or not.
Right. Yeah. I
You
know.
know, I'm like, why in the hell would you say?
I have no urgency to sign him.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's a good way to get him on there.
Yeah. Like what a dumbass.
Number 25, I had Nick Chubb. I mean, what else do we really say about him? He had a bad year last year. I mean, although I told you yesterday that he is injury prone. But
He's had one big injury.
I mean, it could lead to another one.
It could.
But
I don't know.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. I still think he's a good player.
This is where our lists definitely differ.
Yeah.
But anyway, 25, I have Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson Jr., Washington Commanders. Austin Eckler, he excels as a receiver out of the backfield. He hasn't rushed for over 1,000 yards in a season yet. He's had he had four straight incredibly productive seasons with the Chargers from a rushing and receiving standpoint. But last season, obviously, he took a major step backwards, and he's aging now. He's one of the older backs in the league. And Robinson was actually the Commanders' leading rusher last season, and he still looks to be the primary power back. They're both talented. They both add their own unique skill set to the offense. Your classic thunder and lightning kind of backfield that we kind of talked about earlier. It'll be interesting to see who actually gets more carries. Robinson is the younger, more durable one, but Eckler has time and experience on his side. So
You think Eckler went there for just kind of hang out until retirement type of thing, make some money,
maybe
you know, let Brian Robinson take the beating, and then he'll go in and
catch a screen or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they got an exciting young rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels too,
Yeah.
who won the Heisman last year. So, and they got some good receivers: Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Luke McCaffrey out of the slot, the rookie,
yep,
who former Husker.
I blame Scott Frost.
Which I mean,
you and everybody else.
honestly,
you can tell he's the problem now. So
Oh,
yeah.
obviously, yeah,
the kid still made it to the NFL.
he did. Different position than what we had him at, but still.
Number 20. Did you give your 25?
24 we're on now. We all gave 25. He started. Yep.
Oh, yeah. 24, Austin Eckler.
Okay.
I mean, we don't really need to talk about him much. I mean, we just got done talking
Yeah.
about him. But
How old is he? He's in his 30s, isn't he?
His rookie year was 2017, so he's definitely at least 29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I will say, though, is I think he will get the job just because of the experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he'll probably be the primary starter, but I see them sharing quite a few
easing him in
workload.
there, too.
Matt Robinson's a bruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's big.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
24, I got Chuba Hubbard, Panthers. I think he's incredibly underrated, like I said before. The fact he's this low on my list just goes to show how many talented running backs there are in the league right now. He's got 3 years of NFL experience under his belt, with his most recent one having been his most productive. And believe it or not, 2024 will be his first time opening up the season as their true starting running back. His first 3 seasons, well, his first 2, he was backup to Christian McCaffrey. Last year, he started as the backup to Miles Sanders. But he had 902 yards on the ground last year on a pretty sorry Panthers offense. We talked about that already.
The whole organization is just sorry.
Yeah. They've made a few improvements at wide receiver this year, but I'm not sure if their offense is really ready to make that next jump with the young QB, Bryce Young, or even for Chuba Hubbard. But I think he's a solid running back in a bad situation. We'll see how things go in 2024.
Did you know people blame Matt Rule for ruining Cam Newton when he came back? I discovered this the other day.
Cam Newton's a douche.
I
Sorry, he is just a douche. He's been a douche.
I liked
since he was
watching
in
him as a
college.
player. Like, he was fun to watch because he was like that first quarterback to bring that certain dynamic to the
He'd
position.
have been so much better if he'd have just shut up and played football. That's the part about him I didn't like was all the other.
I agree.
I mean, he was a good football player. I'll give him that, but it was all the other stuff. He's just a douche.
Yeah. Yeah, he has
Another
a
fine take by
podcast
me.
now. He
Another fine take by me. Clipped and shipped.
but
I'll have to make a little reel out of that one.
no, I didn't hear that about Matt Rule though.
Yeah, I just
Because his first year as the Panthers coach, he had Teddy Bridgewater, didn't he? As his quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just what I saw in a Panthers deal. On
Who
Twitter.
also got, I feel like he could have been the Saints' future quarterback if they kept him after Drew Brees.
He could have been a
retired.
lot of teams' quarterbacks, but they screwed him. Like, he was doing very well in Minnesota.
Well,
and
he
then-
got hurt,
And
though.
then he got hurt, and then they just moved on instantly.
Well, and I think after he came back, he was afraid he was going to get hurt again because he played like he was dancing on glass.
Yeah.
He did solid with the Saints when Drew Brees got hurt, though.
He did pretty good in the
In
preseason
that
game
Sean
the other
Payton
day.
offense, like, he's kind of that perfect fit for that Sean Payton offense.
Yeah.
I think if he would have stuck in New Orleans after Brees retired, he might have been able to build a career there, but I guess we'll never know. Craig, who you got at 24?
I got Zamir White.
Okay.
Another one of those I really don't know a whole lot
Yeah.
about, but I know he's in for a hell of a season on the Raiders team.
Yeah.
So
We'll see. Yeah. Replacing Josh Jacobs, who's very productive there.
and a lot of unknowns on the Raiders offense.
23, I got a duo that none of us have mentioned yet. I got Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet from the Seattle Seahawks. I know you had Walker on your fantasy team last year. He's had a couple decent back-to-back
Williams.
seasons for Seattle. He rushed for over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns in his rookie year. His production slightly dipped in 2023. But his production did increase as a receiver, having 100 more yards and only 2 more receptions. But part of his dip in rushing production was because they also had another rookie in Zach Charbonnet. He was a 2023 rookie.
How do you spell that?
I don't know. Why are you looking at me? Like,
Charbonnet. Charbonnet.
Charbonnet.
I'd think of
Charbonnet.
Chardonnay.
Charbonnet. Yeah.
Charbonnet. Yeah.
Or Chardonnay,
Well, yeah.
They were both second-round draft picks, though. And I think they'll both be big parts of the offense moving forward based on last season. It seems pretty clear that Walker's still the primary guy, but I think Charbonnet could see an increased workload in, this season. So that's what I got at 23.
James Conner.
Okay.
It's another one of those new team deals.
He's-
kind of it's not a new team, but
I thought he would have headed off by now.
yeah,
He had his best year last
he
year.
did. He
though.
was over 1,000.
Yeah.
barely, but he was over.
He's a scrappy running back. He's just kind of like, just consistent. Nothing real flashy to his
He's
game.
just there.
He's good at everything, but he's not great at any one thing.
Yeah.
Well,
He's kind of like their quarterback. Kyler Murray's going to keep the ball and run with it as much as he possibly can. So,
It's if he
He's
gets
kinda-
off playing Call of Duty.
well,
Baby Yoda. Who you got at 23?
Ramonde. Or
Ramondre.
yeah.
Ramondre.
Stevenson's. Patriots. He's coming off of, Elliott leaving. And so
He was solid as in 2022, though. He had over 1,000 yards.
I think he's going to help Is it Mayo that's coach?
Gerard Mayo.
Yeah, Gerard Mayo. I think he's going to help him with that new year and the new offense. Drake May probably will get eventually a starter.
He played pretty good last night.
You know what's crazy is Jacoby Brissett. This is probably going to be their week 1 guy.
Sadly.
But I like Brissett.
Who's the other guy? There's a third guy, too.
Joe Milton III.
Yeah.
And I've heard he's actually been, in some ways, outplaying Drake May in training camp.
Yeah, I've been hearing that, too.
So it's kind of interesting. I don't think he'll get he won't start over him. But we'll go to 22 now, I guess. I actually have Ramondre Stevenson paired with Antonio Gibson for the Patriots. So Stevenson has actually been kind of productive for the Patriots throughout his first 3 seasons. Like I said, he went for over 1,000 yards a couple seasons ago. He had a bit of a down year last year, but the Patriots' offense was trash in general. They had the 3rd worst offense in the league in terms of total yards. Antonio Gibson will be joining them this year. He's definitely more of a receiving back. That's kind of who Austin Eckler is replacing on Washington, I feel like. He played for Washington previously. He split times with Brian Robinson Jr. It should make for an interesting duo in New England with Stevenson being the power back and Gibson being the speed back. They could be the one bright spot on a very sad Patriots offense this season. They don't have crap for receivers, really.
I know, they just got rid of
They
Juju.
just cut Juju, who's...
That was dumb.
I mean, he's fallen off a cliff since his time in Pittsburgh.
I know, but I mean, still a receiver.
And he's too much of a TikTok, diva. Yeah.
Do you suppose Belichick's just going to sit back and snicker all year while they struggle like that?
Probably.
Did you know he's getting his own show?
Belichick.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You know his girlfriend's like freaking
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
25
24,
years old
yeah,
or whatever
24,
she is,
25,
and
yeah.
smoking hot. And his old wrinkly 70-year-old ass is marking around with her. I'm like, she don't fall off his wallet, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if he's going to smile when he does his show.
She's
He never smiles.
he does smile, but when it's very
He did
rare.
on the
And
roast.
and then when he does, it's so much of like a grimace almost. Yeah.
It's painful. He had to do
Like
it.
I have happy or no, the water boy.
Yeah, the guy with the funny eye.
Hey, Ricky. Do that thing with it, you know?
Oh,
Home is where you make it.
Farmer Fran.
Yeah. You like homos naked? What?
That's fucked up.
Did you ever see Farmer Fran? That's what he said in it. You like to see homos naked? That was on Joe Dirt.
Is that what he said?
You like to see homos naked? No. What the hell are you talking about?
This ain't living
Home is where you make it.
He's like, what'd you say? This ain't living another day. Remember Bobby Buchanan?
Home is where you make it. You like to see homos naked? No.
And then the cross-eyed,
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
that's a good one, Bobby.
I had the same guy, Ramondre Stevenson, so we
Yeah.
pretty much covered him now.
Yep. 21, I had Isaiah Pacheco for the Chiefs. He has a violent, physical running style, and he's a leading rusher of the defending champs. He improved upon his rookie year in 2022 with a stellar 2023 campaign. Despite already being a 2-time Super Bowl champion in his young career, what keeps Pacheco from being ranked higher on this list is that he doesn't play in a running offense. They run the ball from time to time, but we all know this offense runs through the arm of Patrick Mahomes. Pacheco gives the Chiefs offense the perfect amount of production on the ground to give Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the speedy wideouts just enough support to cook when it really matters. He's a perfect fit for this offense, and if he can improve yet again in 2024, he has potential to be in my top 15. So, Isaiah Pacheco.
I think he's all right, too, but,
Yeah.
you know, that...
You just don't really get to see it because he's in that passing offense. You know?
Well, and he's one of those, punishing running backs when
Yeah.
he does have it, and those seem to be short-lived anymore. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is he's got that running style, but he's not like the biggest dude.
Right.
You know?
He's pretty short, yeah.
He's kind of, what was the guy that played for the Falcons for so long?
Michael Turner.
No, the little guy,
Work done.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. He's got
And
that
then,
kind of a
The
fire to him.
Jaguars had one. Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yeah.
Was kind
Oh, I
of similar.
But
Yeah.
he was a fire plug, though. I mean,
Yeah. MJD.
21, I had Joe Mixon.
Okay.
Hey, me too.
Wow. What'd you do? Steal my...
Cheater.
What do you mean
Joe
cheater?
Mixon, really?
Yeah.
He's
He got
another
hurt.
one.
He did get hurt last year, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's still 1,000-yard back though.
Yeah, I think he's going to do
He
very
did,
well
yeah.
in Texans and fit in that offense.
I think
Texans have a loaded offense now.
I do,
But
I
he's
just,
no spring chicken either.
no.
I
They
just-
added him and Stephon Diggs, though.
I just
Yeah.
feel like though that the Bengals really missed that one. They let him. I wouldn't. let him
Yeah,
go.
I don't think I'd have went the way they went either.
I mean,
I remember in the Super Bowl when they had Samaje Perine in there over Joe Mixon in the Super Bowl on like a 4th down play with the game on the line. And it's like you need to have your best players in there at that time. And they had Samaje Perine, who's a solid backup
he
running
was
back.
solid
But
at Oklahoma.
he's no Joe Mixon.
No,
Joe Mixon also played at Oklahoma.
Yep.
You know, that was kind of the Seahawks kind of a, throw it instead of give it to Marshall Falk kind of.
Marshawn Lynch, yeah.
Let him run it. Yeah.
Who was literally the best goal line
Yeah.
power back in the league at that time. You got a 230-pound freight train in the backfield, and you're going to throw it on the goal line. We're on to 20 now, aren't we? Mm-hmm. So I've got Rashad White of the Buccaneers. He proved to be fairly productive in 2023, helping get the Buccaneers to the playoffs for the 4th straight year.
to lose to the Lions.
He ended the regular season just shy of 1,000 yards with 990. He added another 549
tough.
through the air, which shows he's a reliable weapon out of the backfield as well, receiving wise. I think he excels more at receiving more than anything else too. Like he's one of those types of backs. But because even though he finished short of 1,000 rushing yards, he did so in 272 carries and averaged only 3.6 yards per carry. Most teams look for their feature back to average closer to 4 or more yards, but he still looks to be the lead horse for the Bucs again this season. If anything changes, one thing we do know is he'll be a great receiving option out of the backfield for Baker Mayfield.
I like Baker Mayfield. I think he likes those running backs that can catch
Yeah. Oh,
instead
yeah.
of.
He's a solid QB.
Yeah.
He is.
And he's got a cannon for an arm.
I've always liked Baker Mayfield. I feel like he got dealt a shitty hand in Cleveland.
Oh yeah.
But it's
Like-
the Browns. I mean, what do you expect?
Like he literally led them to the playoffs for the first time in how long in 2020, beat their division rivals, the Steelers, on their home turf. And then he got injured, put his life on the line with an injured shoulder the next season. Then they cut him for Massage Watson.
Yeah. Mr. Happy Ending.
It was funny that, I don't know. This is the Browns. They just cut him
Yeah.
after they lead him. He leads them to the first playoff.
Look at some of the players they've had in the last 10 years, and they didn't do anything
Yeah.
with them. I mean,
I mean,
they could've- they
have
could've
no
had
room.
I
Oh,
remember
team.
Peyton Hillis back in I think it was 2010.
I have no
yeah, the
room.
vanilla
He was
gorilla.
he was a fullback that got switched to running back that year because all their running backs got
Were
hurt.
hurt, yep.
And he had over 1,000 yards and made the Madden cover the next year, and then he fell off the face of the earth.
Yep.
I don't have room to talk about teams losing good players within 10 years because, I mean, the Lions,
Well, hey,
the
we're all
organization-
in the NFC North, so, we're all good for that.
That's
Yeah.
true. I mean,
A Packers fan will admit that.
we've
though.
had Hall of Fame quarterback play for the past 3 decades and have 2 Super Bowls to show for it.
I
So.
mean, you and I both know a Packer fan won't admit that they'll do what we just said they'll do.
They're all sucked up because they're full of cheese. They're all bound up, binders.
Full of cheese and beers and bratwurst.
I can't believe I'm agreeing with the Vikings fan right now. What the hell?
Yeah.
At least it's not my cousin.
Oh. He would be egging
You know
it
my
on.
cousin, Dylan Moore.
Oh,
You know?
yeah. He was my catcher when I was coaching
That's
baseball.
right. Yeah. Yep. We're coworkers now.
Yeah.
How does it feel to?
Did he get his front tooth put back in?
I told him about how he lost a tooth at the bar.
He did. He did that
Did I
one
tell you
time.
that?
He
Yeah.
lost it. He lost his
Oh, his false tooth?
his
Yeah.
false
Really?
tooth at
Yeah.
the bar that one time. Yeah.
Nice. How
And
the
then
hell did you know?
we went to the McDonald's drive-thru that night when it was 24/7 still.
Yeah.
And Robbie got out of the car, was at the window, his arm on the window, waiting for our food. He's like, "So where's our food at?"
That's so Robbie too. Like
And he got out,
totally
and then
does
Dylan got out of the car. That's because Dylan got out of the car and threw up, and someone's like, "Yeah, good job, buddy."
that. That's another funny story. Is
that where
we
his
didn't
tooth
talk
went?
about prior episode.
No, he actually lost it at the bar. He was trying to hook up with some girls or something.
He was. He failed miserably.
No.
Dylan, yeah.
Oh, man.
No, yeah, not Dylan, yeah. Do we all share number 20?
No, I was gonna say Isaiah Pacheco.
That's what I
Okay.
had because Kale copied me.
No.
We
He
kind of
copied
talked
me.
about him. So 19 now?
Yep.
Go ahead, Kale.
Gus Edwards.
Okay.
I think
Really?
it's, what?
Again?
Gus Edwards, a solid running back, I think.
Do you Dude, why'd you copy off my list?
I didn't.
I actually have Brees Hall for the Jets.
Really?
I like Brees Hall. What?
Okay. I thought he'd be
I got him pretty high.
I was gonna say I had him pretty high.
He just hasn't shown a whole lot yet, you know what I mean? He's had 2 years. First of all, his rookie year, he got injured. You guys want to talk about injuries? You put Nick Chubb way down there for injury.
He's older.
Now that Aaron Rodgers is healthy, he's probably not going to get a lot this year either. They'll keep
I had
throwing
Aaron
it around.
Rodgers that ranked at like 15 on my quarterbacks list.
But he had almost 600
Which is
yards receiving.
Probably
in
the
backfield,
lowest
though.
he's ever been rated in years.
I still think it's funny that he went down after one play. He just
4
laid
plays.
Down. Well, still.
But
The way he just lays down.
But with Brees Hall, honestly, had he not gotten injured his rookie year, he probably would have won Offensive Rookie of the Year over his teammate Garrett Wilson. He was on pace to go over 1,000 yards and finished just shy of 1,000 yards last year. And he did get nearly 600 receiving yards and scored a total of 9 touchdowns, 5 rushing, 4 receiving. But him and Garrett Wilson are really the only bright spots on a decrepit Jets offense over the past 2 seasons. If he can put together an 1,000-yard season, though, with 10-plus touchdowns, I could easily see him being top 10, top 15. And if Aaron Rodgers can avoid getting hurt, I could see Hall doing that this season. But
He was
Yeah.
994 last year.
I like Brees Hall.
He's on the Jets.
You want to see more. You want to
He's
see
had
more.
2 seasons. I need to see him put together a full year with 1,000 yards or more. You know what I mean? Sure, he's got all the talent in the world, but he's got to show a little bit more, in my opinion.
Yeah, prove yourself.
Exactly.
I had Gus Edwards. So we already
copied
discussed him.
Do you have Gus?
cheated.
Or no, you already had Gus Edwards
Right. We both share a Gus.
at 19.
Yep.
All right, 18. I had James Conner. Coming off a career
I'm
year.
waiting for you to pick.
He is. It was his first 1,000-yard season, but also his worst as a receiver. His first time finishing under 200 receiving yards since his rookie year in 2017. He's consistently been a reliable running back throughout most of his career. And like I said earlier, there's nothing too flashy about his game. He's good at a lot, but not necessarily great at any one thing when it comes to the position. He's averaged close to 4 to 4.5 yards a carry since becoming a regular starter, but he averaged 5 last season, which is pretty good. I think he'll have another solid year, and if Kyler Murray can return to his old self, it could mean bigger things. Even though he's almost 30, that's the typical age. Running backs kind of start to decline, so it could go either way for him this season. So
When he was a kid, wasn't he sick in college? Didn't he? Was he the one that had cancer? Or
I think he was.
or
Yeah,
something?
he was.
Yeah.
He was that one. Yep.
And then he played at Pittsburgh, and then he got drafted by the Steelers, and then
Yeah, he started his career as a backup to Le'Veon Bell.
yeah.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell, yeah.
Before he lost his marbles.
And then he left and started a rap career or whatever.
Yeah.
Something stupid like that.
Go ahead, Craig. Tell me your number 18.
Kenneth Walker III.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
And I got him with the Seahawks. He had a good year last year, 905, 259, but I really don't know a whole hell of a lot about him. That Seahawks is, I think if they can keep everybody where they're at right now, they're probably going to be all right, but they've got to
They've
be able
been
to
decent
build
offensively
somebody.
even since Russell Wilson left. Geno Smith's done a good job.
Yeah. I think Russell Wilson kind
Damn,
of outstayed his
he was-
welcome there a
yeah.
little bit.
When he played the Lions, dude, he was going off.
Like, honestly, if Russell Wilson can't get it done with the Steelers this year, he's washed up.
He's done, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I already kind of feel that way, but
Will he make the Hall of Fame?
How stupid is Pittsburgh to get rid of Kenny Pickett to bring him and the other guy in from
Justin Fields might still have a shot.
I
but
still think
I
Kenny
don't know.
Pickett's a better quarterback.
You
than
think so,
Fields,
really?
though. for
maybe,
that for,
maybe,
for
maybe
that team.
Jalen Hurts shits the bed this year. Maybe he'll get a shot in Philly. Who
You
knows?
never know.
Who you got, Kale?
Rashad White.
Okay.
I think he's a really good addition to the team that, from year prior, but, he was just shy of the 900 or the 1,000 yards. He's really helped Baker Mayfield take the next step as being the starting QB in the NFC and a tough division of the NFC itself.
Yeah. NFC North for sure.
I think he's going to get it done next year for them. Receiving and rushing.
NFC South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying as the whole conference.
Yeah, for sure.
So
17.
Kenneth Walker. And the reason why I have Kenneth Walker is I think he's still a good player. I mean, there's going to be a competition out there anyway, but I think he's going to get it. That's why I put him only. Yeah,
Okay.
He was on my fantasy team last year. He did pretty well, and then he got hurt. And then I picked up Kyron Williams, which he's higher on my list.
Yeah.
Kyron Williams.
He
had a hell of a year.
He's one of the top 5 rushers last season.
And them moving on from who they traded last year. Because he wasn't the starter.
The Seahawks? Or
No,
who?
The Rams.
The Rams? He wasn't the start at the beginning. It was Cam Akers.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
I'll save that for when I get to his pick.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker, though, he's still been a dog since college, and he's still a dog now.
I had DeAndre Swift with the Bears. He started his career as more of a change of pace back for 3 years with the Lions. He developed into a what?
I would think higher, but that's me.
He was change of pace to start his career. He was solid last year. Don't get me wrong.
I put higher. The reason
because he's from Detroit. That's why he's
the reason why he's higher is because he's in the NFC North now, and you already know that he's gonna play with his heart out. Because I mean, he's versing
Play with his heart out.
He's gonna verse the Lions.
I don't know. I couldn't put him ahead of some of these other guys. I just couldn't do it.
Okay.
So yeah, he started his career as more of a change of pace back with the Lions. They had Jamal Williams at the time, and he was kind of their lead horse. But he definitely took into a more of a feature back role last season with the Eagles, his first 1,000-yard season. He looks to be the primary ball carrier for the loaded Bears offense this season, with all the other weapons they have at wide receiver and tight end. This should take some of the attention away from Swift to create big play opportunities for him. Given the situation, the offense surrounding him, DeAndre Swift should have every opportunity to succeed and have a breakout season in 2024. I'm not saying the dude is bad because I have him ranked a little bit lower, about middle of the pack. I just, like I said before, I think there's tons of talented running backs in the league. There's guys I have ranked into the 20s that I think are really good. There's so many good running backs in the NFL right now.
That's the thing. The best running back in the NFL may never touch football.
Yeah.
The Tom Brady type of thing. You won't know until somebody gets hurt or moves
exactly,
on.
Yeah.
I always laughed when he ran.
Tom Brady.
Just because that's the only guy
Peyton
you can
Manning.
outrun.
Shut up. No.
I think Eli Manning rushing highlights are the funniest thing.
You should have them two run the 40.
Rushing highlights.
What?
I said, fuck it. Rushing Peyton Manning highlights.
Fuck it. Eli Manning rushing highlights.
Did you like the video I sent you the other day with the Jay Cutler?
What?
In the group chat?
Was he smoking a fatty?
What was
He
it?
gets it.
What was it about again?
He was talking about all these quarterbacks, and then all of a sudden, Jay fucking Cutler.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah.
So we have a little inside joke with another buddy of ours. We just like to make fun of Jay Cutler, and we just think he's the GOAT. Like
he's the
quote,
only
unquote.
he's the only quarterback in NFL history to lead a game winning drive while smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Which never actually happened, but there's all the memes where they photoshopped a
yeah.
cigarette in his mouth.
Well,
And it's just like it's so fitting because he always had that
yeah.
like look on his face that's just like I don't give a shit. Like why? Like I'm just here for the paycheck.
My brother always said he was the John Kruk of football. His after game workout was like a big sandwich and a cigarette type of thing. So. I had Najee Harris.
Okay, wow.
The only reason I have him
would've
down
thought
that
higher.
low is because there's a lot of distraction in Pittsburgh right now.
That's true. Very true. I actually
I mean, he had a good year. He was over 1,000 yards. But,
yeah, he's been
but
very
he,
consistent for them.
man, there's a lot going on up there right now. So,
And the Steelers always run the ball. They always run the ball
Always
and
run
play
the-
defense.
but
Yeah,
now they've got
so
two
Tomlin-
quarterbacks that want to throw it.
That's true.
Tomlin
So-
is a run-heavy coach.
He's a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there again, I think he's probably coming to the point where maybe it's time for them to get some new life on that side too.
Yeah.
Been there a long time.
Number 16, I had Harris too. So
Of course you did.
I had Kyron Williams actually.
why?
He's had one good season.
So I mean, okay. Go ahead.
It's not bad.
No,
I mean, I know he finished top 5 rushing last season, and he really burst onto the scene. Like I said, he eclipsed 1,100 yards. He finished 3rd in the league, behind only Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry. I know, I get that. Why isn't he ranked higher? Well, the sample size just isn't there yet. He could come out this season and lay an egg.
That is true.
And the Rams drafted Blake Corum out of Michigan. He could steal carries from him. You never know. The Rams are also a pass-heavy offense with Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell. They got all these guys.
Puka Nacua's got the coolest name in football. He's got to get ranked up there real high for something.
Oh, yeah. He was good last year.
He was pissing me off in the game against the Lions. I'm not gonna lie. He was like catching
I was
every
going to
little
say because
ball.
he couldn't drop one.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
I think he was like that in the replacements or whatever that was, where the guy had all the stickum on his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was funny. But all that being said, like, I like Kyron Williams. I think he had a great year. I think he will have a great year. I just, for the sake of this list, I just can't have him. I could probably rank him a little higher. There's probably a couple guys I could have had him above, but for the sake of this list, he's in the top half, at least top half of the league.
And he's young.
And he's the most productive running back they've had really since Todd Gurley. He'll still be the feature back, even though they drafted Blake Corum. And honestly, like if he continues to produce like he did last season, if he has another similar season like he did last season, he'll easily be in my top 5 or top 10 easily. But after 1 year, like you got to show me again, especially as a running back.
I'm not a big Blake Corum fan. I think he's going to wash.
Probably.
Yeah. I think he was
cocky.
great.
He was great in that scheme.
He's a Tebow type of guy. He was a badass college player, but I don't think he's going to make it in the NFL.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
I just think he's cocky.
Yeah. Well, now you're used to playing teams that are good, and then you got like the Alabamas and that. Now you're going to play teams that are like stacked full of Alabama.
Yeah.
Every week in and out. So I had Rashad White.
About time.
Well, you both had him.
Yeah.
But he had a good year.
He did.
He's on a decent team.
He's versatile.
They've kind of put that team back together. I think he's going to be all right down there. So
I'll be honest.
Well, they have good wide receivers too.
they do. They're
Mike
pretty
Evans,
well
Chris
rounded.
Godwin, Trey Palmer, former Husker.
I thought their coach would have flopped after what's his face retired.
Oh, Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles has done very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, he did. He would have done all right in New York if they'd have left him alone.
Yeah.
Number 15, Kale.
Alvin Kamara. He didn't have like a solid productive year, like consistent of games, but what I will say is I think he will bounce back this year, and he has shown that before. Coming off of that 1 year prior with suspension and stuff, I think he's probably hungry.
He had a good year.
But you got to remember,
Almost 500 yards out of the backfield.
He is competing with Williams. But I think
Williams got hurt last year too.
Yeah, but
they also have Taysom Hill, who plays a little running back for them.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah,
That guy's
exactly.
An animal.
Yeah.
I just want to take that hog nose or hog ring of Kamara's and pull it out. And
15, I had
Take a
Bijan
little
Robinson.
taser.
Bijan Robinson for the Falcons. Some might say he actually had kind of a disappointing rookie year. He didn't go over 1,000 yards. And they had a lot of hype surrounding him coming out of college. But he did share time with Tyler Algier and Cordero Patterson, who are both talented backs in their own right. Down the stretch, the Falcons committed to him as their workhorse running back, and he did finish the season strong, getting close to 1,000 with 976, averaging 4.6 yards per carry. The Falcons' offense still left a lot to be desired last season, though, primarily due to the quarterback position. They found out Desmond Ridder wasn't the long-term answer. Made an immediate upgrade this offseason, signing former Viking Kirk Cousins. He gives the Falcons a true passing threat. which in turn will mean bigger and better opportunities for Bijan. He looks to be a big part of an explosive offense in his second year. So, Bijan Robinson.
He had good numbers.
He's very explosive at the ball.
976 and 487. That's pretty good for a rookie.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, to boot.
Yeah.
I mean, can you name their offensive line?
Probably not.
No. You know, so
Probably a team I forget about, to be honest with you. Ever since Matt Ryan left, I just
yeah.
forgot about him.
I think someplace I have a Brett Favre
Falcons.
rookie card from this Falcons.
Falcon. Brett Favre.
His Favre. I got Aaron Jones with the Vikes. And that's
Wow.
It's bad to say, but he did go to Minnesota.
Seems like all the Packers, they always trade their leftover goods to the Vikings.
Yeah. We just like
The
to
spoiled
we're
cheese.
bottom feeders, you know.
The leftover cheese.
Favre did have one good year for Minnesota, but then his second year was like the worst of his entire career.
And then
All
he
the
said he was
interceptions,
retiring, and then unretired, and then retired.
And then the
unretired.
dick pic,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, with the Jets.
You know, she's pretty hot. I don't know if that was such a bad thing.
She was totally.
His wife didn't agree. That's
so-
what ruined it. So
14.
Aaron Jones.
I had Alvin Kamara at 14.
Now look, he's copying our list.
I had Alvin Kamara higher than that.
He's been consistent as they come ever since his rookie year. He did win Rookie of the Year his rookie year. He's just, again, similar to Eckler. He's never gone over 1,000 rushing yards in a single season. But he is one of the best receiving backs in the league, makes up for some of his lack of production on the ground. He has potential to be similar to like a Christian McCaffrey type and have like 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in one season. But he usually gets over 800 and 900 yards a year and 400 to 500 receiving yards. But he's had a couple where he had 7 and 800s. It'll be interesting to see what he does in 2024. I mean, the Saints offense seems to have changed a lot since Drew Brees retired. 13? Or did you do your 14?
Oh, I got Travis Etienne.
Okay.
But I think that if Lawrence is healthy, that he's not going to get as many touches.
He's a solid receiver out of the backfield, too, though.
Yeah, good
He's
yards.
He's had a couple solid years.
470
If he played
some
slot,
yards.
he'd be pretty good.
His first season, he was injured the whole time.
Yeah.
I actually have ETN at 13.
I as well.
So we were switched because I have Camaro. So
I have Travis. Up
Yeah,
there.
he's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Yeah, I mean, last year he struggled a little more than the previous year because I think because Lawrence went down, people didn't respect their offense as quite as much. But I don't know. He seems to be durable enough to last an entire season, so that's promising.
it's kind of odd in an offense like Jacksonville where you are completely wrapped around your quarterback and your quarterback really isn't that good. I think he will be.
I mean,
He's getting there.
Here's the
but-
thing with Trevor Lawrence. I think he was really good a couple seasons ago
Yeah.
when he led the Jaguars to the playoffs, and he started out last season really good, and then he got hurt.
Then he got hurt.
And then when
So
he
now he's
came
going to have
back,
to start all over and
Right.
prove himself again.
but then when he came back, he wasn't the same.
No.
And then the Jaguars missed the playoffs after starting the season like 7-1 or something like that. Like
See, I
everyone
think
thought
there's
they
a
were.
lot of those players that get hurt, and when they come back, they're afraid they're going to get hurt again.
Yeah,
You know, but then when somebody does get hurt, like Alex Smith, you know, and they smear that all over the news, and then they show you his leg, and it's all tore up. You know,
I think that shit's fucked up.
you know,
Yeah.
I seen guys bull riding all the time that you know the guy in front of you breaks his leg. What's the first thing you do? You look at it. Well, then you're screwed.
I mean, look at
You know,
Lane
it sticks
Frost.
in your head. You know?
Lane Frost got so many injuries. He got up and went back to bull riding.
Yep.
So 13 is Travis for me.
number 12, I had Aaron Jones, Vikings. It'll pay me to see him wearing purple this season, but
It'll
I
be
can't
good.
deny he's still one. He's still one of the best,
Putting dirt in the wound a little bit there.
most
Salt in the
versatile
wound.
running backs in the league.
Just rub it in.
He still has all the tools to be a great NFL running back. And I think he'll fit well in that offense, whether it's Sam. Well, obviously, we know now it'll be Sam Darnold playing quarterback for them. He's a reliable weapon to hand it off to or check it down to out of the backfield. He's also versatile enough to play the slot if need be. His two biggest weaknesses are injuries and fumbles. If he can stay healthy, I could see him having another 1,000-yard season, though.
I hope so.
We'll see. He's definitely got that potential, but again, potential just means you haven't done anything yet.
Number 12, I had James Cook.
Our lists are starting to get more similar.
Let me guess.
James Cook. I had James Cook at 11. He was fourth in the league in rushing last year, behind CMC, Henry, and Kyron Williams.
He was 11-22 and 445 out of the back.
He adds that extra dimension to the Bills' offense. Takes a lot of the pressure off Josh Allen. I think he'll have another big year, especially since the Bills lost Stephon Diggs. He'll have a bigger role, and they'll have to rely on him more in the running game. So,
I think you get somebody on the Bills team like that, it's a lot easier to shine when you're on a team that's really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and with a quarterback like Josh Allen.
Exactly.
And Josh Allen, he can run the ball, obviously, but you don't want your franchise quarterback
No.
running the ball 20 times a game. And we see how he runs. He tries to truck people with his size. And that's just, you're begging to get hurt at that point. But, yeah, I had James Cook at 11. So, who'd you guys have at 11?
DeAndre Swift.
I had Cook. So I didn't copy off you that time.
Okay. So, like I said, DeAndre Swift, he's coming out of Detroit, Philly last year.
Yeah.
He left. He wanted out of Detroit because they got Montgomery, and he probably felt a type of way. I thought he was going to get.
He felt that type of way.
I mean, you
They
get
did.
somebody better than you, and you don't want to compete. You're just going to move on. You're going to.
Montgomery's a dog, though.
He is
Underrated as hell.
I'm planning on getting a jersey.
I like him better than Gibbs, even.
Yeah.
You should just put his number on that shirt.
No.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5 on the field. Number 1 in your heart.
Dogs.
I thought maybe DeAndre and them would have done it, and he would have got his first Super Bowl, but they didn't, obviously. But he's in Chicago now. I think it's going to help Chicago. They've been needing a running back for a while.
They've been
Ever
doing a
since
lot
they got rid of
stuff.
Montgomery.
Yeah.
Yeah, ever since Walter Payton died.
Dang.
Number 10, I got Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane of the Dolphins. To me, they're probably the fastest running back duo in the league, and arguably the fastest offense in the league. They were both very productive last season. They complement the speedy wide receivers Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Mostert had a career year rushing for over 1,000 yards and 18 touchdowns. Achane had 808 scores, so very solid for a rookie. He also missed 6 games due to injury and still had 800 rushing yards, so that's pretty impressive. I do expect Achane to take on a bigger role next year. He's younger and seems to be a little bit more explosive than Mostert. He averaged nearly 3 more yards per carry than Mostert. But I think both will continue splitting carries and lead the ground game for the fastest offense in the NFL this season. So that's my number 10.
I had DeAndre Swift for the same reason that everybody else did. He's coming off a good year, going to a new place. See what happens.
Number 10, Robinson.
Bijan.
Bijan, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
Bijan Mustard.
Dijon.
Bijan.
Number 9.
Bijan.
Number 9, I had Joe Mixon. I had him a little bit higher than you guys did. I just
Yeah,
think
because I had him way back there.
he obviously he is getting a little older and stuff like that, but he's got the body of work. You know what I mean? Like, he was super productive during his time with the Bengals, and now he's showing a new loaded offense with reigning offensive rookie of the year at quarterback. They got a new stud wide receiver 1 in Stephon Diggs. Plus, they got Nico Collins, Tank Dell. That's going to open up some running lanes for him. They're obviously going to be a pass-first offense.
They have a bad line.
He could have, they do have not the best O-line, but we'll see. I mean, they could improve this year. So we'll see. If he can stay healthy, he could go over 1,000 yards again. We'll see.
Number 9 I had is Josh Jacobs. Again, still surprised that the Packers somehow got him. I think he's going to be a very explosive duo with Aaron Jones.
No, he's not. I hope not, because if they do,
It won't be A.J. Dillon either. It'll probably be Marshawn Lloyd, the rookie out of USC.
But however, though,
But he got hurt recently, so who knows?
I think he's, it's going to be a new team for him.
I think Jacobs will be the lead horse, honestly.
I think it's going to be a new energy for that team and for him.
I think he's a good balance because they have so much speed on the outside with the receivers.
Yeah.
Jacobs is just going to be that workhorse power guy that's going to run the ball,
he's a big dude too. I mean, he seems like he can take the punishment pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Stays healthy.
He's more durable. He's younger. He's less fumble prone than Jones.
Yep.
And he's underrated as a receiver. I won't say he's as good of a receiver as Jones, but he's underrated in that
He
regard.
can take a hit.
He can deliver hits.
I know.
He can deliver the blow as a running back.
Who did you have number 9?
Same guy. Cheater.
You cheater.
Number 8, I had Najee Harris paired with Jalen Warren, the Steelers. They've been an effective duo past couple seasons. They've been the driving force behind the Steelers' offensive attack. They've had a lot of inconsistency at quarterback ever since Ben Roethlisberger retired. But something, like we said before, something that's always been consistent with Steeler football is they run the ball.
Yeah.
They run the ball. Najee is obviously, they run the ball. They play great defense. Najee is obviously the bell cow, the workhorse of the two. Warren's more the change of pace guy. But they complement each other really well. And maybe Russell Wilson or Justin Fields can upgrade the passing game this year enough to give these two a little bit of support. I guess we'll see. I don't know.
How long do you think Russell Wilson's going to play before they switch?
That's the thing is if Russell Wilson comes out and looks like Seattle Russell Wilson,
I think them days are gone.
they'll have a great year. But if he comes out and lays a fucking egg, then they're going to pull the plug real quick and put in Justin Fields because he's younger.
I'm going to bet
at that point they got nothing to lose.
Week 3 or 4, Wilson.
I could see it if Wilson's playing like shit. Totally.
He's old enough to where the decline started 2 or 3 years ago, and take it from me. When the older you get, it doesn't come back. I mean, it's not.
2 years ago was trash. He was a little bit better last year. So I guess we'll see. I don't know.
I think having him in with Sean Payton was just a mistake from the get-go.
I think it messed them all up.
Because all they did was talk shit about each other the whole year.
Well,
so.
yeah. They tried turning him into Drew Brees. He's not Drew Brees.
And
he's similar height-wise.
Yeah. So you got to jump over, to throw it over the line. But
Russell Wilson's at his best when he can run.
Exactly.
And they tried to turn him into Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And Drew Brees.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, but I think he's on pretty short leash. I think
I think
he
so
stubs
too.
his toe, he's out.
I mean, there's talks Fields could even start week 1.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, you never know. And I think if he has to sit with the clipboard for very long, he's probably just going to hang it. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
not like he needs the money.
No,
I always thought he's
got plenty of that.
I always thought his Subway commercial was cringy as hell.
Oh yeah, very.
But it's
Danger Witch.
Married to Sierra though.
True.
That's got to give you some kind of. I'd
He's
want to
got
go
game
home.
in that department, or
wouldn't you
he's
wanna
got
stay home?
money.
But like Dad always said, as good as looking as she always is. Somebody's tired of putting up with her shit, so that probably goes everywhere, huh?
Number 8, I got Raheem Mostert, and I mean he also got a battle there anyway with
Achan. Yeah.
I think Mostert would get it.
He's kind
I
of
think he'll get it. I
bruiser
just think they're both going to work a lot in that starting offense.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the difference between running back and quarterback is you can have essentially 2 starting running backs work with the starting team.
And their coach
Whereas
gets
quarterback, you want to have one guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And their coach gets it.
He does.
If they both
Mike
work,
McDaniel.
he's nuts.
He's funny.
But he gets it.
He's
so
hilarious.
He also
He does.
knows that if they both work, play them both.
Yeah.
Don't just key
I had
on
them both
one
on my
guy
fantasy
just
team last year, and I
because.
won. I won the championship against you.
we played in the championship.
Yeah,
And he beat you?
easily.
Did he rub it in?
No.
Oh man, perfect opportunity.
I'm pretty sure I did. But anyway, number 7, I got David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. What? That's a good ranking. Top 7? Come on. There's not really much to say. I mean, I like Montgomery more as the guy. Like I feel like Gibbs is getting a little more love in the offseason because he's younger. He's a little more explosive, but Montgomery's still technically listed as a starter going into the season. He's definitely more the power bruising style. Gibbs is more the flashy, make you miss. I don't know. I think we're going to see another heavy dose of both running backs this season, and the Lions could look to repeat as NFC North champs possibly. We'll see.
You made Super Bowl, right?
They didn't win the Super Bowl.
I know, but not winning, but like
They won't
there.
repeat.
They'll get there.
Maybe. I ain't gonna write anything off. The only
I
thing they
wish
can
we would have
repeat
made that
as is
bet. Oh man.
NFC North champs, because they did win the North last year for the first time ever. The last time they won the division was when it was still the NFC Central back in the early '90s.
You make me
When their
wanna-
owner was playing for him.
Yeah, their head coach, right? Dan Campbell used to play for them.
He looks like he could still play.
He does.
No.
He'd be fun to play for.
I would kick a door down for that guy if he was my coach.
Who
He's
you
like
got?
the Bill Goldberg of football
Yeah.
right now.
Maybe the Packers should learn how to get a guy like that.
I don't know. I like LaFleur.
He seems like kind of a wiener.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he's a good coach, but he just seems like him and McVay,
Oh, just stop, guys.
I mean,
just
they
stop.
know offense. They know how to produce.
Yeah, I mean, they're both good coaches, but they just seem like kind of wieners. Yeah. That's just me.
Number 7.
I think that's funny.
I had Jonathan Taylor.
Number 7. Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
I had him
He's-
a little bit higher. I
he's-
actually had him my next spot at number 6.
He's good, and he's on a good team. You know, these last 5 or 6 picks are tough just because they're all kind of.
You're gonna have. I mean, it's
together.
kind of like quarterbacks. You're gonna have your top guys, and they're a little interchangeable.
Yep.
Yeah.
If Richardson can stay healthy and not
Richardson.
Richie.
kick you.
Richardson.
Anthony Richardson.
Anthony.
Richardson.
Can we talk about the dude at Subway for a second? I forgot to bring that up to you
Oh
today.
man.
So before we came, we went to my parents' house. We ate Subway.
Anthony
But
Richardson.
the Subway by the high school, this dude was making sandwiches, and then he started, doing the register, and I was not expecting it, but he started talking like, "Hey man, you want something with chips and drinks here?" I'm like, "What?"
You ever catch yourself going, "Hey, me," when you go to answer him? You talk like that too.
Yeah, I was trying so hard not to because I knew it was going to
Dude.
slip.
I was trying hard not to laugh at that point.
Yeah, I'm getting a cramp in my back of my thigh.
Why?
I don't know.
He pulled a hammy sitting
I was
down.
gonna say, how the hell did you pull a hammy sitting in your chair?
Getting a cramp.
Number
Write that
6,
down.
I had Jonathan Taylor. And honestly, I think it might be a little high for him considering like he didn't really do much the past couple seasons, but we know what he's capable of, and that's leading the rushing title with over 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns. I think if Richardson can stay healthy and develop as a passer, it'll mean more opportunities for Taylor in the run and the passing game. And giving Richardson's running abilities, the two of them could also make an electric duo on the ground. But a lot rides on this season to see if Taylor can really remain a top-tier running back in the league.
He's he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Like Zach Moss stole some of his thunder last year, and none of us had him ranked too high.
No, I had him
So,
at the bottom.
yeah, I had him at 29. So,
Number 6, I had Gibbs and Montgomery,
okay.
and I'm not doing it as like a battle.
No. They're a
I'm
1-2 punch.
I'm doing it as the 1-2 punch.
Yeah. And all of these I have as 1-2 punch, not as a battle.
I had most.
The ones that I have as duos.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had Raheem Mostert and Achin on that
Yeah.
deal.
Nice. Number 5, I had Saquon Barkley. So, I mean, it kind of is, goes to show. I mean, he's obviously one of the more talented backs in the league. Another guy who's it's injuries, right?
It is. And he's kind of turning into a diva.
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think joining a new offense, a new situation, new quarterback.
I think him and Jalen Hurts are going to go well together.
I like Saquon Barkley, though. Reason being is because he has that ability to be like the elusive pass catching back like a Christian McCaffrey, but he's also got the size and strength to be a Derrick Henry type.
Right.
Like there's a reason they call him Saquad Barkley is his nickname, you know.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Like he can truck you or he can flank out and beat you as a receiver too. So I just think if he can stay healthy, he'll go off. But I don't know. We'll see. I could see him if he doesn't have any major injuries, he could have his most productive season yet this year.
They could, and for all practical purposes, the Eagles are kind of stacked.
They are offensively, yeah. They got some dogs at their skill positions.
Number 5, Kyron Williams.
Okay.
And the reason why
I respect it.
The reason why I'm saying that is because at number 5 is dude came off of being a backup to being a starter instantly after Cam was wanting out of LA so bad. Dude took the ball and ran with it, literally.
Mm-hmm.
The dude finished strong. He did pretty well as a pickup, as a random fantasy pickup.
Dude did do good. He did do that.
He did do well. He
Dude did good. He dude good.
I'm never having you coming on with.
He dude good.
Dude did do good.
I had to
Kale
deal.
dude good.
I'm not talking to you on Monday.
I bet you do.
I bet you won't.
He will.
You'll have to.
I have to.
Number 4, Josh Jacobs.
I could be like Brian and tell you to fuck off.
Everybody does that.
I know.
No favorites in that building.
Number 4, I got Josh Jacobs, Packers. He is a couple of years removed from winning the league rushing title. He failed to crack 1,000 yards only for the second time in his career last year, but the Raiders' offense as a whole struggled mightily, playing musical chairs at the quarterback position and never really finding an identity. Jacobs joins a very strong Packers offense. He hopes to improve their ground game. Some say he's a downgrade from Aaron Jones, but I disagree. He's younger, bigger, stronger, less injury prone, less fumbling problems. And like I said, he's underrated as a receiver. I won't say he's as good of a receiver as Aaron Jones, but he's underrated in that category. They have tons of speed and talent on the outside anyway. And in my opinion, one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. He looks to complement all that speed and explosive on the outside with his strong physical running style, neutralizes the defense up the middle. And then Jordan Love, should be able to sling it and make plays in the passing game, open up plenty of running lanes for Jacobs, and I think he'll bounce back in a big way this season.
But he can't hit his
Packers.
receivers.
Right?
That's what he just said.
Well, I know. I know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
This is absolutely true. Wide open receivers, Jordan Love can't hit them.
I just bringing that up. Sorry.
No, I mean,
This sounds like
4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns,
This
only
sounds
11
like
picks.
typical Packer hype talk over here.
I mean,
We're going to win the Super Bowl.
I'm not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying,
Give me
like,
some cheese.
I mean, I agree. He's the hype's a little
Hey there, Abe, did you get some
insane
cheese?
after one good year, but
Did you get some brats?
I think the latent potential. Obviously, he's not naturally talented as Aaron, and we're so used to that. But
I feel like you would die on a pedestal. You would get on a pedestal and debate the shit out of Jordan Love until he's not good anymore.
we'll see what happens this year. That's all I can say.
We have a pretty good start on that now.
Yeah.
I mean, last season
It'll all tell itself out here in another couple of weeks. Get started.
he might, he made his fair share of mistakes last year, but
He's young.
he's young. He's got a little more Favre in him than I think Rodgers necessarily. Like he's got more of that gunslinger play style, whereas Rodgers was more calculated
Now if he
and
can
just
hit
more
the damn
accurate in
receiver.
general. Love is more of a risk taker, but I think he's also a better runner.
Than Rodgers? I would hope so.
Typical.
Rodgers in his
fan.
prime, he was a good runner.
He was.
Nowadays,
25 years ago.
Nowadays, you go down on 4 plays.
Hey, even Favre when he was young was a decent runner.
Yeah, he runs pretty good. Rodgers does on the ayahuasca or whatever that shit is.
Ayahuasca. Who'd you guys have at 4?
Thinks he's running.
Brees Hall.
Really?
Yeah.
Top 4, really?
Yeah.
And he hasn't had an 1,000-yard season yet. You put him in your top 4.
He only missed it by 6 yards.
True, but
This
still.
dude has so much potential for the job.
Okay.
Jets.
Okay, sure. He's got potential.
What did we say about potential earlier?
Exactly. I'd rather have a guy who's been there and done that.
Okay.
Okay.
It's my list. Don't like it?
It's NFL.com's list.
No,
That's right.
It's Caleb Daily list.
Off of NFL.com.
No.
Who's your number 4?
Did you put a disclaimer on there?
You have Brees
You just
Hall
got to
as well?
talk really fast and then say that I did not copy this.
No, I am not. And 1, that's a lot of work. And 2, I'm not. No.
I had Kyron Williams.
Okay. I respect it.
Really?
Kyron Williams, he actually finished top 3.
Yeah, he put up a lot of yards.
You ranked him so low, though.
The sample size, man.
He must have got off NFL.com.
Same as Brees Hall. I don't know. I like the guys that have been there and done that.
He probably got off of WalterFootball.com.
Yep, that's right.
Listening to that guy on Sirius Satellite Radio.
Colin Coward.
There you go.
You guys don't like Colin Coward?
I hate that dude.
Why not? Why?
Dude, it's arrogant.
How?
He said shit he doesn't need to say.
I just think he's a douche.
Yeah. Straight up.
Okay. I respect that. He's saying stuff that he can't really prove.
I don't really have any reasons.
I
I,
don't
just
either.
think he's a douche.
I think the stuff he says is interesting sometimes. I
Yeah,
like listening to
but-
him sometimes.
I don't need to prove
I don't-
anything. He's just arrogant.
I think all those guys are arrogant
Yeah.
to a point.
I mean, Stephen A. Smith is very ignorant,
I
too.
could, yeah.
You know who I think is arrogant is Skip Bayless.
Oh,
He's
that
worse.
dude.
He's
is-
worse than Colin Coward.
I'm surprised somebody hasn't punched him in the mouth.
I used to hate all the bad shit he would say about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
He got in trouble, too, for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 3, I got Nick Chubb,
Jeez. I had
and
him
it's
at
just
like
because
26.
it's because of what he's done, man. Like he's been one of those top dogs in the league. Yeah, he had a career-ending injury last year. So what? You know, Adrian Peterson came back from a torn ACL and then rushed for 2,000 yards the next year. Who's to say Chubb can't do that?
4 times he came back from all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Whipping his kids.
Here's a branch. Wow.
They
So,
never
I mean,
suspended my dad. for
His
that.
workload might be limited this year because he has a good backup in Jerome Ford. And if Deshaun Watson can actually get his shit together, they'll have a decent passing game. But
I'm going to bet that don't happen.
probably not. But
He's
at
gonna
the end of
get
the day,
caught doing
like
something
I still
stupid
think when healthy, Chubb's up there with the best in the league.
I agree. I think he's a good running back. He's been a good
I
running
understand why you guys have him ranked low, but there's no way I can put him that low on on the list.
He's getting older, and,
He is.
you know, coming off that injury, it's going to be a telltale year. He's got to just
We'll
go
see.
back out and see if he's
Yeah.
back to where he should be.
Number 3.
Who you got?
Saquon Barkley.
Nice.
Brees Hall. And I went off pure stats on that one, and it's just because he had some pretty good numbers.
He's a
last year.
dog. He has that dog.
I
in him.
don't discredit that. I think he'll be great,
I think you get
but
the-
he just doesn't have the 2 years in. He doesn't have an 1,000-yard season yet, and
He's
all
gotta show
these
it.
other. Ramondre Stevenson has an 1,000-yard year, right? And no one talks about him. Tony Pollard back-to-back 1,000-yard years. Oh, but he's trash.
Yeah.
And Brees Hall has yet to do it. So
He'll do it this year.
okay, you want to bet money on
Write
that?
it down. Write it down.
Kale Daily quote, we'll save this. If he doesn't do it, then we'll figure out what we're going to do. But I will put money on it
All
or
right.
something.
So we all have the same top 2. Number 2, Derrick Henry.
Yep.
Number 1, Christian McCaffrey. Goes
It's hard
without
to
saying.
argue with.
They're obviously the top 2 backs in the league.
1,400 yards.
I mean,
1,200
Henry's
yards.
due for a big year this year, joining the Ravens offense.
Oh, dude, that offense is gonna be so expensive.
You know what's crazy is they also have a 300+ pound fullback in Patrick Ricard.
You know, he's going
They're
to
just
look
gonna
like
line up
Terrell
and-
Suggs lined up in the backfield. That's what it's going to look like.
Exactly.
They're
yeah.
about the same size.
And then you got Lamar, who's only improving as a passer, and obviously we see what he can do as a runner.
And then Hollywood Brown too.
It's just
Or is he not on there?
no, he's not there. He's on the Chiefs now.
I was going to say he went to Chiefs.
But they have Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman.
Zay Flowers,
They have a
yeah.
couple good tight ends.
See, I think that the old quarterbacks are realizing that you can't run like that forever.
Yeah,
You need to start improving on your passing game just to
And
save yourself a couple of years. In
I
the
think
league.
Lamar's done a good job of that each season of improving as a passer.
Yeah.
So I like Lamar, and I think adding Derrick Henry will help him in that regard too.
I think it'll prolong his career a couple of years too.
Yeah. And then obviously with CMC, I mean, the year he had,
Yeah.
Leaving
know,
the Panthers and then instantly becoming a
being the focal point of such a loaded offense with other guys like Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk,
if he stays.
if he stays. But last season he played for them, and he had his best season yet last season. And, you know, he won Offensive Player of the Year, and he's just a dog. Like, it's just crazy because, I mean, he's a white dude.
And he got married. Yeah. He's
Like,
a quick,
let's be honest.
fast
Like,
white dude. Dude.
hey, man, I'm just going to be upfront with it. Like, running back is a position dominated by black dudes.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yeah.
And the best running back in the league right now is a white dude.
By a mile.
True.
I mean,
I'm
it's
not
just,
debating
it's
That's
a
not
fact.
racist. That's
It's not
profiling.
racist. It's literally a fact.
It's profiling. There's a difference.
It's a fact.
Yeah, I'm not going to debate it. I mean, I agree.
He didn't have that extra.
I'm not
muscle in his
saying
ankle or
it's
whatever.
cool or anything. It's just it's interesting.
You know, it's just like hockey is mostly white people.
Except for CJ Supon or whatever his name was. PJ's. He's black, wasn't he? Isn't the league scorer in hockey this year? Wasn't he a black guy? Like one of the top scorers. Plays for the Lightning.
Can't remember.
How do I know that and you don't? And you're a Canadian.
I
You're Canadian.
stopped-
You're the
I
number
stopped-
one hockey fan in the area.
Come on, man.
I didn't.
You're
pay
the number one
attention to
hockey
the
fan
whole-
in Nebraska.
I bet I haven't watched a full hockey game in 20 years, and
I haven't watched a full hockey game in my entire life.
You're missing out.
I get lost in it. I'm
It's
like, where the
not
hell
hard.
the puck go?
It's not hard.
I just like to see the fights.
That's what I was gonna say. I go for the.
That's
fight.
part of the game. Right?
Yeah. I wish they just had steel chairs and everything and just throw them and everything.
Yeah, they throw like live octopus and shit on the ice, which is
I don't
just
understand.
nasty.
I don't
Yeah, that's
understand why
gross.
Detroit does that.
That is just
I don't know.
nasty, like a ball of snot flying over the.
Ugh. Well, fellas,
That was a pretty good power
I like
hour.
that. Yeah. I enjoy these, man. I like stuff like this. And this one was definitely more of a debate than the quarterback one, and I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I thought ranking running backs was definitely a little bit more challenging than quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, by a mile.
Because it's so much can change. Like
I think quarterbacks.
there's so many more variables.
I think quarterbacks, you just know.
Like you know who the top guys are, and you know who the bottom guys are, and you know who the middle of the pack guys are. It's pretty easy.
It's only going to get harder. After
well,
the
and
receivers.
normally on their teams, there's
Receivers will
one.
be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
it's just-
receivers
it's-
would be tough.
It's deciding how we want to do it. Because are we just going to do each team's number one receiver, or are we going to do top 32 receivers? Because some teams
I
number
think
two
we should do
receivers
receiver core. So
I was
like,
gonna say by
receiving core.
yeah,
team.
So say like Detroit, like there'll be like number 10, and then they got
Yeah.
all these
Well,
guys. Or you know,
Detroit. So are we going to throw tight ends in there, or just wide receivers? Just wide receivers
I think tight ends.
with the wide
Yeah,
receivers.
yeah, I would consider
Just one episode, wide receivers and tight ends, receiving core.
yeah, and then offensive line and defensive line.
Well, all the Lions have is Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta. That's it. That's good players. Jamison Williams hasn't done nothing.
Well, they got the tight end. What's his name from Iowa?
Laporta.
Laporta.
Yeah,
That's who I said. Yeah.
But well, like offensive line, we could do like
Packers will be up there.
I don't give no shits. Fuck the Packers. You know how I feel
Jesus,
about the
that
Packers.
was rude.
I don't give a shit about the Packers. I hate them.
Remember, you almost became a Packer fan.
Shut
that
up.
one
We don't need to
time?
talk about it. All right, that's the episode. Okay. We'll just talk about it more where we go with what we're gonna do. So
Yeah, for sure.
you want to hit the plug in for all the social?
Yeah. Check out Agent Life Media. Check out all their different podcasts, Touching Base, Useless Assumptions, Talking Dirt. Check us out on pretty much any social media platform. Craig, thanks for joining us these past couple episodes, man.
Sure,
it's been a
it's
pleasure.
fun. Anytime.
Been fun having you on.
You're never joining again. No, I'm kidding.
He's been one of our more fun guests, in my opinion.
I'll have you on.
He actually like adds to the conversation. You know, he really talked. Brody was fun too.
He just talks like, "Hey, I'm Brody." Like mono.
Yeah, Brody.
He's gonna hate
Hey,
us.
bark, bark.
He's gonna hate us for making fun of him for
Hey,
it.
bark, bark. I remember when we talked about the dog thing.
Hey, bark, bark.
Yeah. So solid, guys.
Yeah.
Right on. So
All right, peace out. Bye.
peace out, bye.